Alright guys, so here we have the HG, the Origin MSD P-Bandai kit here of the Zaku High Mobility Test Type. So basically what this was the Origin Test Type DOM kit. Now with the just Zaku 2 parts there for the head and the center of the chest, and then the Zaku 1 shoulder armor there on the one side, and lack of shoulder armor on the other side. So that is pretty much it with this kit. It's molded in some different colors. We do have a few new parts there, specifically for the feet in particular, and then we do also have a new Zaku Machine Gun for this kit. So while this is an Origin MSD release, because it's using those parts, it's actually meant to be, I guess, the Zaku that was featured in the very first episode of the 8th MS team. So it's the prototype Zaku that I know was piloting in the first episode of 8th MS team. Very cool scene, and if you guys have ever watched that, it really starts off the series with a bang, with the fight between Shiro piloting the ball against this particular Zaku, and the kind of ending the battle with a draw. It's a pretty cool fight scene if you guys have never watched it. 8th MS team, I think one of my favorite parts about it is that it has some of the best fight scenes in all of Gundam, in my opinion. But really cool kit here to finally see that Zaku come together in a kit. So while it actually ended up coming out in the Origin line and as a P-Bandai kit, okay, that's definitely better than nothing. I mean, I think it would have been cool to see this come out as just a standard release HGUC kit, and just making a fully new kit instead of using basically the parts from the Origins line DOM test type there. But it works, so that's fine, and it ends up looking really cool. Really cool kit. Considering that I've already reviewed the test type DOM and about 7 or 8 different versions of the HG, the Origin Zaku, this review will be pretty quick. I'll just kind of whip through this. It's pretty much one of those things, and this is kind of the reason why I didn't buy this kit right away, but then I ended up getting it later. It's just a kit that, like, there's really not a whole lot new to it. It's just the kind of thing that if you're a really big fan of the design, then you might want to get it, and that was the thing for me. I really liked it, but I just kind of was like, nah, I'll just pass. But the more I saw it, I just kept thinking, it just looks so cool, so I just couldn't resist. So I just want to say a big thank you to SA Gundam Store for sponsoring this review, guys. Do check out the link to their site down below. Use the coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10. I do often get asked about where is a good place to buy P-Bandai kits, such as this. USA Gundam Store does sell P-Bandai kits, so check them out. So let's talk about what is new with the kit. Now, in the unboxing, I thought that the head looked a little bit different. The detail on I thought that possibly the details on the head were different. Actually, they're not. So here we have the high mobility type Zaku 2, and as you can see, the heads are actually exactly the same. But what is different is the chest part. The detail on the chest is slightly different. So if you see, there's the regular chest we see with the other Zaku 2s in the Origin line. They have the kind of 2 little details there. This chest part here for the Zaku test type, high mobility test type here, is a little bit different detail on that. So a very slight difference there, but that is something. Also, if we take a look at the shoulder armor here, compare with the shoulder armor of a just regular Zaku 1, you can see the details on that are also slightly different. And then we, of course, have the DOM test type, where you can see where most of the kit is coming from. The knees, however, are a little bit different on the test type DOM here, where we have the kind of more boxy square knees and a little bit more interestingly shaped knees here for this. And then also the feet, whereas the new feet for the high mobility test type Zaku actually look much more like a kind of standard DOM feet, whereas the DOM test type had a much more interesting shape to them. So while it is very subtle, the little bits of new parts for this are pretty cool, and just the combination of different parts from the different kits, I think, do make this pretty interesting. Now, of course, the other unique thing for this would be the sticker markings. So I've used most of the main markings, all the lining bits, and the main logos. There's still a bunch of just smaller markings and things like that I didn't use with the kit. They don't look too great though. Stickers on dark color plastic never really look that good, especially over these large ones over rounded surfaces, like here on the side of the leg. You can see corners of the sticker that are just coming up, and then over the shoulder armor here, those never go down good. So the stickers for this kit, while the lining ones do work pretty well, the other ones maybe not quite so much. Another thing that does make this a little bit different is that it does actually come with a sheet of foil stickers as well. Very few of them, but most of the Origins Zaku Xeon kits don't have foil stickers with them for the most part. It has a little foil sticker there for the eye, and then it has 2 little foil stickers here for the little red bit on the edge of the toes, so that's just kind of unique about this kit. Nothing major. I think obviously masking those wouldn't really be a big issue, and then just painting the mono eye is something that people just kind of commonly do anyway. Now, as for accessories, like all of the other HG, the Origin Zaku kits, it does come with an open hand for the left hand and a trigger finger hand for the right hand, which I've got here on the Zaku Machine Gun. This Zaku Machine Gun is slightly different from the Zaku Machine Gun that we get with all the other kits. So that's the other kind of cool thing about this kit. It's this, that if you're like a really big fan of like cannon things and like very slight differences and things like that, then this will be something interesting to you. Again, it just works exactly the same though. Secondary handle moves side to side. The camera on the top moves up and down like that. But it's cool that it's just very, very slightly different. I think that's pretty interesting. And then finally, and then the last accessory is just the heat hawk. Now the heat hawk itself is exactly the same as the heat hawk that we get with all the other kits. That's nothing new, but we do have a new connector for this. So it's just this little connector here, which will hold the heat hawk on a slightly different kind of way here onto the side skirt. And there you go. It's just kind of meant to go on there like that. Now that's different. Definitely how it just kind of holds it kind of straight down. You can turn it, I suppose. But in the manual, as far as I can tell, it basically just shows it kind of straight down. But anyway, it's interesting. I think it's a better looking connection compared to the other kits where it comes with a second heat hawk with just like deactive with a little peg on the side of it. This one doesn't come with that. It only comes with this version of the heat hawk. So I actually kind of prefer this, and I wish the other kits would have had this, only this one and a connector piece instead of the two different versions of it. But you know, it's okay. As for articulation, let's just quickly break this down. Like with the other kits, the mono eye does move side to side. The cool thing about this kit though is that the part for the mono eye does actually have a molded detail for the mono eye, so painting that will be very easy, whereas the other kits it's just a kind of flat piece of plastic and you just have to kind of stick the sticker on there wherever, or if you're going to be painting it, you kind of have to eyeball where you're going to paint the mono eye on it, and you have to get a perfect circle. With this, you don't have to worry about that at all, and so that's pretty nice. The Zaku mono eye does move side to side. Like with the other kits, there's just a little tab up underneath the head. You kind of have to take the head off, move that, and then put the head back on. A little bit annoying, but the head will move up to really only about there, not too much, and then down to there, which is definitely better. In the waist section, we've got a stomach crunch forward and back and side to side just a little bit, not too much, and then rotation there is not a problem. While the polycap in the shoulder will swing forward, and then we have the same kind of collapsing chest gimmick here, which will give you a really nice reach forward across the chest. Upward mobility in the arm is going to be a little bit limited. If you kind of move everything out of the way, you can get it to just about 90 degrees. Over on this side, it's going to move a little bit better without that shoulder armor on there, but still, you're not really going to be able to get the arm up too high. That said, anything more than 90 degrees here is pretty good for a high grade, so it's just pretty standard. Otherwise, the arm moves normally, just rotation there at the top, double joint in the elbow, giving you a nice full bend, and then a wrist joint on a wrist with the ball joint. The front skirts will move up and down like so. Very cool. I love the skirt armor of this design. That's one thing that I really like about this in the Dom test type. It just looks so cool. Side skirts will also move up a little bit like this. It's kind of this whole side part here, which moves up. Very cool. The back skirt doesn't move at all, but you can see there's another connection point here, as well as connection points on the side of the backpack. So other different accessories from other kits will be able to work with this. Also, the little thruster bells on the backpack are on ball joints as well, ball joint polycaps, so those can move a little bit also. We got the hip joint here, which will slide forward for giving you some more mobility and posability with the kit. Rotation there at the top of the leg. You're able to bring the legs out all the way to the side, no issues with that. And if you lift that front skirt armor up, you can get the leg just up to about 90 degrees there, but then you can get a nice full bend in the knee, nice double joint there to get that all the way back. It kind of looks really weird with this much kind of frame, I guess, poking out, but it gives you a full bend in the knee, so that's cool. Down here at the ankle, you're able to move the feet side to side pretty well for getting a pretty wide stance. That's nice. Forward is also no problem. Back, not really any problems there. Up underneath the feet, full details, no empty space or anything, except just a little bit of hollow gap there at the edge of the toe. Nothing too bad though. You can also see the extra little thruster bells hidden on the inside, left and right side of the bell bottoms here for the legs. So as you can see, it's pretty bare bones in terms of the accessories. You have the machine gun and you have the heat hawk in a couple different hands. That's pretty much it. Although you kind of I don't really know what else you would really expect this to come with. It kind of would have been cool maybe if they would have thrown a bazooka in there or something. I don't know, kind of would have been asking a little much to maybe throw in the kind of the mega bazooka that was included with the Dom test type. That would have been cool because it's such an awesome weapon, but in terms of kind of what you would expect and what you get with this kit, I think it's pretty much there. I think the main negative of this kit is just obviously going to be the fact that it's a P-Bandai kit, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive, a little bit harder to find. Availability of the kit aside, I think overall it's of course going to be an overwhelmingly positive review here. It's got the same negative traits that all the different Zakus have from the HG, the Origin line. It's got the seam lines on the forearm, the seam line on the shoulders. That's annoying, but it's an HG, so you can't expect too much. One other little bit annoying thing about the machine gun is that while the trigger finger hand does have a bent wrist to hold the out to the side a little bit to account for like the stock at the back of the machine gun, which kind of gets in the way at the forearm there, that didn't really seem to be that big of a problem. I mean, it seemed to be pretty alright for the other Zaku kits, but for this one, I don't know, it seems to be more of a problem for this kit, where just the back of the machine gun is just getting in the way with the forearm, and it's just kind of hard to get it into a good pose. If you're doing a pose like this, where it's just kind of like off to the side, it kind of looks okay, but as you'll see in a minute, when you're trying to make a pose of it, like actually firing or something, it just looks a little bit odd with that there, so I think you might have to possibly go in and even do a little bit more modification to the wrist joint or something would probably be the easiest way to do it, just change the angle of the wrist joint even more. I don't know. Or if you even just wanted to have it just like standing, holding the machine gun just like down in just like an inactive position. It just looks odd because it's kind of permanently tilted off to the side and just kind of looks weird. And so that's going to pretty much do it for this review, guys. Hopefully this has been helpful for any of you who were maybe curious about this kit, or maybe some of you didn't know about this kit. Maybe this kind of flew under your radar when it was released as a P-Bandai kit, and now you're just learning about it for the first time and thinking, man, that looks really cool, I want to get that. Or, well, I don't really care about that at all. Whatever the case is, let me know in the comments down below. Did you get this already? Did you pass it up like me and now you're wishing you would have got it? Or what do you think about it? I think it's pretty cool. I'm happy with this completely, and I just want to say again, thank you to USA Gundam Store for hooking me up with this. I think if you think that this looks cool and you can get the kit at a good price, you definitely won't be disappointed with it once you get it in hand and get it built. It's such a really cool design, and especially if you're a big fan of the 8th MS team, or just the look of just kind of Xeon like prototype kind of interesting mobile suits like this. It's definitely a really cool, interesting design. I love the colors as well. The black and the purple and that light kind of navy blue all looks really cool as well. That's kind of one of the things that drew me to this that I haven't mentioned yet. The red lining, ultimately, when I get around to painting the kit, I probably won't really bother with that. I'll just kind of have it without any lining bits on there, but that is something that is cool if you do want to use the stickers. Like I said before, the red lining stickers do actually work pretty well. They're a little bit of a pain to get on and to get like lined up correctly, but just takes a few minutes. You can get them sorted out pretty well. So that's it for the review, guys. Hopefully it's been helpful. Let me know what you guys think down below. Any questions or comments, and as always, hope you're having a great day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.